Today I'm going to be using cauliflower and chickpeas to make kind of a fish stick, and we're going to be using that to make tacos.
Yes, for tacos.
Yeah. Anyway, he gets a little excited sometimes whenever I say tacos. So anyway, we're going to be making a Tomatillo Salsa. We're going to be roasting the tomatillos and everything, so it's going to be a roasted, not a raw Tomatillo Salsa. And we're going to be making kind of like a cream, like a garlic mayo cream. I call it the vegan crack sauce because there's no eggs, there's no milk or anything like that in there, but it is definitely good. Anyway, stick around and see how we do all this. For our salsa, we've got these nice tomatillos, and what we're going to do is we're going to roast these things. Traditionally, you would do them like on a flat, like a comal. It's like a flat piece of metal. Brown them up, and then you would take, maybe boil them, put them in the oven. But I'm just going to put them in the oven. I like doing them that way because that cooks them all the way through without boiling them. I have 3 serranos. I'm probably not going to use all 3 of these, but I may use the part that has or does not have seeds. I've got, where's this camera at? There we go. I've got 1/4 of a medium onion. We're going to roast that as well. I'm just going to kind of spread this stuff around a little bit. I've got 2 cloves of garlic, but we're going to put those in the blender. We're not going to roast those. I tend to dry them out if I cook them in the oven. My oven's preheated to 350 degrees, and I'm going to throw this in the oven until they're done. Here's what our tomatillos look like when they come out of the oven. See how they're all shriveled up? They're soft. They're cooked all the way through. My little serrano peppers, they're all shrivelly up, and I trimmed them off. I trimmed off a portion to get rid of most of the seeds, but not all the seeds. So what we're going to do, we're going to put our serranos in there. By the way, this has cooled down a little bit. We're going to put our tomatillos in there, a couple of them in there. We're going to put our onion, put 2 cloves of garlic. I've got I have 1 teaspoon of sea salt. It's the fine sea salt. Half a cup of water. Put that in there. I have 1 small bunch of cilantro that I chopped up. Now, if you don't like a lot of cilantro, back off of that. I'm not going to use quite all of this. I'm just going to use about like that. I'm going to call it half a cup. We're going to put that in there. We're going to save that cilantro for later. And now we're going to blend this up. And you definitely want to make this ahead of time. That way everything has time to come together. Now what you can do at this point is taste it for salt. See if it has enough salt for you. And if you want to put some of that chicken bouillon cube stuff in there, that's pretty common in the taquerias and such. Anyway, I don't really like using that, so I don't use it. So what I have here is I have a can of chickpeas, and I want to separate off the water. Yeah, I know, I have an Instapot, and it's real easy to cook chickpeas, and it's a lot cheaper. But, you know, sometimes you only need a few chickpeas, and I don't have any in the freezer or anything like that. But if you cook some up and save the liquid in ice trays or whatever, that stuff is considered vegan gold because there's so much you can do with it. But anyway, we're going to use the stuff from the can. So I'm just going to pour this liquid off because in my recipe that I'm making for the fish tacos, I don't really want the liquid in there. I'm going to put some in there, but I want to know how much. So we have the liquid from our chickpeas, but I only need a 1/4 cup of it for making our sauce because we're getting ready to make it. It's really, I just call it crack sauce. Probably shouldn't say that on YouTube because YouTube's probably going to ban me or something. They're getting pretty strict about that stuff lately. Anyway, got my pitcher. We're going to put our 1/4 cup of chickpea liquid. I've got 3/4 cup of a neutral flavored oil. You want something that's not very strong, but you also, if you want to use some olive oil, go ahead. I don't care. But I'm using just a vegetable oil, just a plain. I mean, it says right here, taste the food, not the oil. That tells you it's a very neutral flavored oil. When I stir fry, I like to use peanut oil. But that's got a little bit of a flavor to it. I could use it, but I don't want to use that today. I've got 2 tablespoons of lime juice, a freshly squeezed lime. Now I got some other things going on here. I have 1 teaspoon of Dijon mustard. I need to put that in there. Half a teaspoon of salt. 1/8 teaspoon of cumin. Yeah, I know it says a quarter, but I've got half of a quarter teaspoon, so that's 1/8. At least it is in my book. Put that down there. Now later, we're going to put some garlic and cilantro in there. But I find that when I'm making an emulsion, putting solids in there, it tends not to come together as quickly and as well. So we're going to put those in here in a few minutes. So now we're going to turn this on. Okay, that's starting to come together. I need to get that plate back over here. There we go. That way I don't make a mess on the counter. I got 1 clove of garlic that I've mashed up. I'll put that in there. I've got a pinch of chopped cilantro. I'll throw that in there. Now I really should be making this in a tall vessel. That works a lot better, but I don't have one today. Now we're going to put this in the refrigerator and let it chill out. So let's make the filling for our fish tacos. Did I get that right? Air quotes, fish taco? Because there's not going to be any fish in them. So we're going to take and put our attachment for our mixer on here. There we go. Make sure it's locked in. Safety first, guys. Come on. I've got 3/4 cup of our chickpeas. You're basically going 1-to-1 chickpea to cauliflower. And because I have a fairly small mixer, I can't use a whole can, so I'm just using 3/4 cup of them. Got some cauliflower that I've roughly chopped up. Now you can use the stalk and everything else. Don't worry about it. You don't want to waste it. It gave its life for you. Come on. All right, now we're going to season this up. I'm using chickpea flour. I'm putting 2 tablespoons of chickpea flour in here. I get this at the Indian markets. It's gluten-free, so that'll make some folks happy. So anyway, there's 1 tablespoon. There's 2 tablespoons of chickpea flour. I'm going to put a 1/4 teaspoon of salt. Then I'm going to put a 1/4 teaspoon of garlic. Put that in there. I'm going to put 2 tablespoons of our liquid from our chickpeas. It's going to kind of help bind everything together. Put that on there. And we're going to pulse this. There we go. I'm going to scrape this down a little bit. I may have to do that a couple times. It's looking pretty good. I think I'm only going to just pulse this just a little bit more, because it's actually coming together, and I don't want it to be, I'm not making hummus. All right. I mean, I love hummus, but that's not what I'm making tonight. All right. There we go. That's what we want right there. Now, all of this is going to be in the fridge overnight. You want to make all of this stuff ahead of time because then everything kind of comes together. So I'm going to put this in a small bowl. Make sure it's covered up nice and tight with either some plastic wrap. Actually, I have a small bowl that has a lid. I'm going to put that in there. Our tomatillo sauce is in there. Our cracked sauce. Everything's in there. And so tomorrow night I'm having fish tacos. But I think tonight we're having pizza. One thing I'm going to want for my tacos, I'm going to want some cabbage. So what we're going to do, turn this thing on. Here's my torch. So now we're going to make our fish sticks, for a lack of a better term. They're not really going to be fishy, and we're going to bake these. Don't try to fry these, because if you try to fry these, they're just going to fall apart in the oil. So we're going to bake these, and we're just going to give us something crunchy that goes into our fish taco, kind of replicate that fried fish taco. It's full of protein, it's good stuff. Anyway, we're gonna basically divide this into 3 balls. Kind of do something like that. We're going to put this on a silicone baking mat. Actually, this would normally divide into 4 balls. I tried to fry one just to see what it would do, and it didn't do so good. So anyway, we're going to divide what's left into 3 fish sticks. And I have the oven preheating to 350 degrees. So whenever that gets hot, we'll stick these in there. We're 20 minutes in to our cooking time. We're going to be done here in just a minute. They're starting to get a little brown and stuff. So they're basically done. What I'm going to do, I'm just going to go ahead and turn the oven off. That way I don't forget, because sometimes I forget to turn the oven off. Kind of silly, but I do. Those are going to be going for about another 5 minutes. I've got this pan heating up. I've got some corn tortillas here, because we're going gluten-free today.
But James, gluten is poison.
No, gluten's still not poison. We've had that conversation before. You go away. Anyway, this pan's heating up, so we're just going to take and we're just going to put some brown spots on our tortillas. And here in just a couple minutes, our fish sticks are going to come out of the oven, and we'll have some tortillas, and we'll assemble our tacos. So let's assemble our tacos. First, we're going to need a tortilla. That's a nice looking one. See, I got some brown spots on both sides. Things are looking good. So I'm going to take a little bit of my cabbage. Put that there. And I'm going to take our fish patty. Put that on there. Now these didn't turn out as crispy as I was hoping to, but you know, life is what it is. We're going to take a little bit of this tomatillo salsa and put it down here. This salsa is pretty good. Now this vegan crack sauce, this stuff is just good. Anybody should be eating this. I don't care if you're vegan or not. I'm going to put a little bit of that down here. We're going to put a little bit more on top here later, but I want some down inside. And then we're going to put this in our fancy little holder. And I'm going to make 2 more, and then we'll get going from there. So now we got to finish these up. We need a little bit more salsa. I mean, you can never get enough salsa. Got to have some on the top here, this tomatillo. And we're going to need some more of our vegan crack sauce. Now you take this straight out of the fridge, it's nice and thick, but the longer you leave it sitting out, it thins down a little bit.
Give it to me, baby.
Need some onion. There we go. All we need now is a lime, and I have that cut up over here. I'm going to come back and do the taste test, but first I got to go take a picture. So the only thing that really matters is how does it taste? Because if it doesn't taste good, who's going to want to eat it? Doesn't matter how healthy, whatever. If it doesn't taste good, if I could just figure out how to fry these, make them really, really crispy, man, these are good.